Hi there, it's Lisa from Dahlhouse Designs. Today I'm going to be doing some inlay die cutting using some Unity stamps and obviously some die cuts, circles basically from Spellbinders. So the first thing I have is my card, basic card size, and I'm just going to take my circles and kind of get an idea of where I want to put my die cuts. And I'm going to inlay some pattern paper and cardstock into where I die cut into the card base. So in the end, everything is going to lay flat. And so I just want to kind of get an idea of what the layout will look like. I'm also going to be using some stamped images that will be popped up over on top of these. But for right now, the basic die cutting will look like this. And then I've already cut out some matching circles. The big pattern paper will go here, and then I have a green and a yellow that will inlay when we're done. So those are already preset and cut out. So for right now, I'm going to just die cut these two circles, and I'm going to use some washi tape to keep them in place so they don't move when I die cut. That one just did. Okay, so I'm just going to run these through my machine real quick, and I'm going to run it through flat like that. Okay, so we have our first cuts here. Just going to remove these out. I'm going to hang on to this because I'm going to need it in a second. Put these aside. And now this one I had about here, so I'm just going to put that down and run it through again. Okay, so let's remove this guy. So now we're getting a little more complicated in our inlay die cutting, in that I want my yellow piece here, and then I want my pattern paper to inlay inside that yellow cardstock, which would go here. But I want that to inlay flat. I don't want it to be up, like I can feel the ridge here. So I'm putting that yellow piece down, and then I'm going to put my circle die cut back into where it was, and I can feel the ridges fitting back into where it was when I die cut it the first time. And now we're just going to tack those back down with washi tape and run it through one more time. Okay, let's see how that worked. So far we're looking good. And so now with inlay die cutting, there's nothing for us to adhere our pieces to. So I'm just going to quickly take a square piece, a spare piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to glue it to the inside of my card. So all my pieces have something to glue to. Okay, so we flip that over, and now we have a place to glue our little pieces to. So, like this one fits perfectly in there. I'm just going to use, I'll use this. Make sure I get all my parts of it down and glued. Some liquid. Okay, for the stamping part of this card, I'm using this Itty Bitty by Unity Stamp Company. It's called Need a Squeeze. It's part of the Stamp of the Week program. So the images come together in the stamp set, and I'd like to go ahead and separate them. So what I like to do is to cut my stamps. So I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz scissors here. They're serrated and they tend to cut through the rubber really nicely. And what I'm going to do is bend the image back so I can cut in between those without actually cutting the stamped image, just like that. And I'm going to separate them all. I'm going to look at them a little closer personally so I don't cut my image, but that's how I tend to cut my stamps. Okay, so now I have all 3 of my stamped images cut apart. They can easily be smushed back together on a block if you'd like to use them all as one image again, but now I can easily stamp them separated, which I prefer for this particular card. So I have my block and I'm going to start, and I'm going to stamp them on 2 different pattern papers, and I'll pick and choose which ones I really like for my card when I'm done. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these all stamped out. That does it for today's card. We have some fun inlay die cutting going on with pattern paper and cardstock. So we have a flat card front with all that die cutting, and then I did add some popped up elements using some stamped images and enamel dots. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.